Okay, everyone, welcome back to Breslov Efrat here at shiur David Baruch Hashem Erev Pesach. And we have our minhag that we always learn the Torah from Rav Shimshon Me'Ostropolia, and it's a big segulah to learn Erev Pesach, and we'll learn why. And I just wanted to tell over one quick story quickly to help us about a tefillah. We keep learning about this idea of tefillah b'din. Right, tefillah b'din, right? The tefillah b'din, and it's a story from the Kedushas Levi. It's an amazing story. I saw the story. I said, "Wow!" Came Erev Pesach in Baditchev. It was after the time of Bia Chametz, after the time of and the Kedushas Levi said to called over one of his Hasidim, and he said to them, "You know, I need to have Turkish cigars." Some kind of special cigars he needs from Turkish cigars. So they said to the Rebbe, they said, we can't really get that right now because, Russia is we're fighting with Turkey. There's a war going on, and it's illegal to have anything Turkish cigars. Huh? Listen. Yeah, okay, that's what he did. Okay, but they said, Rabbi, we can't find them. So they go out and they're looking and they're asking. They find this one guy has some, and they go to him and they tell him, how much would you want for them? They gave them a price, and he says, but you can't tell anyone where you got these from. Because if you get caught by the police, if the police would catch them, it'd be finished. Okay, they bring the cigars back to the Kedushas Levi. Okay. Then the Kedushas Levi says, okay, now I need some Austrian silk. Now there's another problem. Russia was also fighting with Austria. There was a big war going on. Austria. The Rebbe, what do you do? Silk? What? Fine, we'll go get it. They come back after they find their silk. I'll make it short. And they bring the Rebbe the silk. Now the Rebbe says, okay, now I need you to go out and I need you to bring me chametz. I want you to find me cookies. Cookies? Pesach? Zman Cham? Don't ask any questions. Just bring back cookies. They go around and they go to every house. They go to everyone. There's no cookies to be found. They come back to the Rebbe after 2 hours and they said, we searched, there is no cookies anywhere. He says, thank you. The Kedushas Levi looks up to the Rabbi Nishlam. He says, Rabbi Nishlam, look, there are laws and there are policemen down here in Russia, and they're looking for them. And take a look. Even though the laws that the government makes, we're able to get past them. It's no problem. But you said, Hashem, there can't be any cookies. You said, Hashem, there can't be any cookies, and there are no policemen. There are no policemen. No one will catch. No one. The Russian police would not bother anyone because he had a box of cookies, right? But that you can't find. You understand? And that he was able to break the gezerah that was going on in Klal Yisrael. That's the kind of idea. That's a real tefillah b'din. Hashem, look, hey, you want. What do you want from us already? We're following what you can, the best that we can. Anyway, that was just something so beautiful to understand. And again, to help the medama, the imagination. But now here we're going to see something amazing over here to really help us understand how beautiful the Torah really is. How beautiful every word and every letter in the Torah is so meticulous. It's so perfect. Every single letter has so much meaning. I mean, we learned that each letter in the Torah is connected to one of the 600,000 source neshamas right? And every time you learn Torah, you can be ma'orah people to do tshuva because all these different people are connected to all different neshamas. So now we're going to see what it means, a letter in the Torah. So here we go. Everyone, this is our minute. We did this a few years, but it's always special and always with a hischachus, right? Not tamid. It always has to be with hischachus. It's tamid, but with a hischachus. Okay, here we go. So it's called. So this is a teaching that was given over from the mekubal, Rav Shimshon Me'Ostropolia, Hashem Yimkam Damam. He was killed and okay. But his teaching that he gave us is something. Wow. Here we go. Shalom l'Rabbeinu Eretz, goydrei geder v'oimdim beperetz. He's talking now. The rabbis of Eretz Yisrael, sent him a letter, helping to help him if he can define to them, help them understand this mimer from the Arizal. Okay, they didn't understand it. They could not understand it. The great mekubalim in Eretz Yisrael could not understand it. So they sent a messenger. They sent a letter to Rav Shimshon in Me'Ostropolia, right, Me'Ostropolia, and he got the letter, and this is what he's saying. So he's answering them back now. This is his answer back to them. Okay? Yatzilem Hashem mikilyon v'cheretz kulam kideshim asher tzeim b'oretz kichad pum l'churfei makshe mitoretz v'al roiv shulmchem is angu me'ata v'hadoilam amen selah. Okay, so he's giving them a nice, beautiful. He's honoring them, how wonderful these people are, and how they learn Torah, and how the Torah is so sharp and beautiful and wonderful. Okay, betachlas akitza oides inyan masha kosav Arizal b'kuntri shaloi hanikra palois rabbis. Bishar hanikra Yitzias Mitzrayim Pera Gimel Daf Mem Beis V'zu L'Shoinei. And this is the lashon. So we're going to read now the words of the Arizal. He tells you where you can find it in the Kisvei Ari. Okay, if you want to find it in Kisvei Ari, you can. He's answering that here. Here we go. Now we're going to read this paragraph, and it will not make any sense. Okay, and if it doesn't make sense to you, that means you're in very good company. Very, very good company with these great mekubalim of Eretz Yisrael of that time. Okay, so don't worry about it. Here we go. Hine kvar hadiyacha sheparoi nilka b'Mitzrayim b'esem makos elu. And we know that Pari was punished with the 10 makos in Mitzrayim. That we know, right? Everyone knows that. That's no problem. Al yedei shloisha alofim masayim u'shmoine malachei chavola hamamunim. Okay, let's try. They were through. How did Pari get the plague? How did he get the 10 plagues? Through 3,280 punishing angels. Right? There are 3,200 punishing angels. Hamasavavim b'shloisha rekiyim shel tuma, and they are surrounded by 3 firmaments of impurity. Makes a lot of sense, right? Not yet. Okay. Echad Nikra, the first one's called Shin Reish Ayin. Vasheni Nikra Taf Mem Vav Ches. Okay, those are the names. Okay. Vashlishi Nikra Beis Yud Shin Hey Aleph. Valeya Masar Dalid Lamed Pei Kuf Tes. Val Kulam Sara Nikra Taf Kuf Aleph. Okay. So you have 3 firmaments of impurity. Okay, and there are 3 angels surrounding it, and he gives us the names of the 3 angels, and then he tells us that there's one angel that's above them all. He's the menahel of all of them. He takes care of all of them. Bereshis, here we go. This is amazing. Bereshis, right in the beginning. You're missing from 3:10. Right? 3:10. Missing from 3:10. The chosem in Aravi, Shisha. And from 4, you're missing 6. The chosem in Atishi, Shisha. And from 9, you're missing 6. Well, that makes sense. You can take away, but it doesn't make sense. How do you have 10 missing from 3? Right? Okay. Kakosa b'Torah, as it's written specifically in the Torah. והנה מה שמצינו שלוקו המצרים במצרים 10 מכות והיום לוקו 5 מכות מצד השם שין פי וו. We're going to read in the Haggadah tonight in Mitzvah Hashem, right? We're going to read about the different ideas of how many makos there were actually in Mitzrayim, how many of them were on the Yam. So one opinion is Shalok Mitzrayim Makos 10 makos v'layam local 5 makos. That there were 10 makos in Mitzrayim and another 50 makos when it came to Kriyas Yamsuf and what they suffered in the sea. And that was Mishad Hashem Shin Pei Vav. Sheboy Ochus David ben Yishai. What does David have to do with this, right? Okay, David ben Yishai. Baruch Hashem. We always want David HaMelech, right? V'Hashem Omar Haku V'Hikum, and the name said, smite them, and they were smitten. Umitzad Hashem Tov Kuf Lamed Loko Mitzrayim b'Mitzrayim Arbor Makos. And from the name Tov Kuf Lamed Loko Mitzrayim b'Mitzrayim Arbor Makos, they had 40 plagues. Different opinion. V'Layom Loko Masayim Makos. Right, and they had 200 plagues on the sea. Vashem Amar Haku V'Hikom, and that name said to smite them, and they were smitten. Umitzad Hashem Shin Tzaddik Hey Loko Mitzrayim Mitzrayim 5 makos. Wow, 50 makos in Mitzrayim. V'Layom Loko Masayim v'Chamisha makos, 250 makos on the Yam. So the 3 differences of opinions, whether it was 10 and 50, whether it was 50 and 200, right? 200, right? And whatever. These are the different opinions. Vashem Omar V'Hika, and the name said, and they were hit. Uvemash HaKadosh Baruch Hu Makkah, with what HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the Makkah, Boi Mirape HaGolus, it brought healing, it brought salvation for the Golus. Ma Pashu or Ma Chotu, what was their sin? What did they willfully sin in? Uma Hamal Ashemolu Avasein, what did our forefathers do wrong? What was the original problem? Lias Pekora Basil, that we had to be in the melting pot, the smelting pot of iron. And iron is the metal that needs the most heat, right? Iron needs the most heat in order to turn it into liquid. Right? Gold, silver, all these other metals don't need as much heat. Iron is the hottest. You need it to come to the highest heat to melt. That's what we were. Until we exited. We were able to. We exited. B'shemas elu. Dalid Ayin Beis Tzaddik Dalid Aleph Kaf Shin Ches Beis Ad Kan Lashon Arizal. Okay, there you go. So this is the piece from the Arizal that people were trying to, these great Torah scholars were trying to understand, what does the Arizal mean with all these things? It's very cryptic. It's very cryptic. So now, here's the answer, and now we're going to learn the Mitzvah Hashem, the Siyata D'Shmaya. We're going to have it make everything that the Arizal said, wrote here, very, very clear. Ready? Here we go. These words are awesome. These are awesome words. They're locked, they're sealed, they're closed. There's no way to explain them. And because you great rabbis asked me to explain this for you. The Rebbe says he got a dream, right? Rav Shimshon said he had a dream. And he had a Gilui, Eliyahu, whatever, and maybe the Arizal came to him and explained it to him. Okay, beautiful, right? All right, so he says, now I'm going to explain it to you. Here we go. So again, you have to keep in mind what we read from the Arizal, and now he's going to explain it now. And this idea that the Arizal wrote, again in the Maimer that we just read, Sheparoi loke b'Mitzrayim esem makos elu b'Mitzrayim ayidei shloishes alafim Messiah Mishmayim Malchei Chavola that the Mitzrayim were punished in Mitzrayim with 10 makos via 3,280 punishing angels. Kavanasi kach. This is the kavah. This is what it means. Kiamru balei kabbalah masiyah sheyesh shloisha alafim Messiah Mishmayim Malchei Chavola. There are 3,280 punishing angels on high. And these angels are there, and these are the angels that run the Gehenna, and these are the angels that punish the wicked, the ones that did what they did wrong, and they punish the wicked. But what's the purpose? Why they're punishing them? L'taram, to purify them, from their sins. The whole purpose of why they're being punished, they're not being punished to be punished. They're being punished in order to cleanse them. You understand? It's true rehabilitation. Right? You know, as they say, when people here in this world, they incarcerate someone to rehabilitate them. That doesn't rehabilitate them. Most of the time they come out worse or whatever. Maybe ulai. But in Gehenna, the whole point of the punishment is not for the punishment. It's only to rehabilitate the neshama, to purify the neshama from the sin that the neshama was involved in this world. And there's a siman in this with the words egraf resha. What does egraf mean? Like the fist of the Russia. Okay. Ki egraf, the word egraf, fist. Okay, so these words, right? Okay, that's the words in Yeshaya, in Navi Yeshaya Nun Ches Daled, and the Navi says these words lahakos be'egraf. So it says Rav Shimshon here that egraf is hinting to 3,280 malachim. Al yodam nilka gam paroi harosha b'hamitzriyim, and that's through them. Paroi and his henchmen, right? All of his people were punished in Mitzrayim. So it's amazing. Hakadosh Baruch Hu took the malachim that were up on high, and he brought the malachim down here. You hear this?
Egraf, how does it work out? Egraf, like Aleph Gimel 3,000, right?
Yeah.
Aleph Gimel 3,000.
Yeah.
Reish Pei. Another.
Reish is 200. Pei is 80. Okay. Okay, so now you have to pay attention to this now. Very good. In the Torah, it's written the markers a certain way. Not all the time are the markers written out malay. Sometimes they're chaser letters. Sometimes they're missing letters in the Torah. Let's understand. Let's understand this. So here we go. Dam sefadei akinim orayv deveshchin barad arbe choshech makas b'charis. Those are the 10 plagues. Elu ese makas kasher kisafti ois ba'ois. As I write for you letter by letter, and he wrote it up on the top. You see the letters? You see he writes it out for you. You have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have it there. Yeah.
Yes, like in the Torah, right?
In the Torah, yeah. You don't have written out Dam Sefadei. You do. Okay, so the way he wrote it out. Pay attention to the way he wrote it out.
It's not like normally written.
Exactly. Elu makis asher kasati b'is v'oilim lecheshbon shleishes alaf masayim u'shmayim malachei chavola mamunim l'tares or ashoyim v'u pshat nifla ayin loy rasa. So in other words, if you add up now, Dam sefadei akinim arav dever shchin barad arbe choshech makis b'choris, the way that it's written in the Torah, guess what? It comes up to 3,280. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. If you add up the makos, the way it's written in the Torah comes to this. So the Navi Yeshaya says, Egref Russia, right? Hashem is going to punish with the Egref Russia, right? Egref is 3,280, and now you see in the Makkos themselves, the 10 Makkos themselves, the way it's written in the Torah also comes to the 3,280. Okay, now and this works out good if you have the word kinim and you leave out the yud. So kinim, if you notice, is written is kaf nun mem, but kinim normally is kinim. It usually has a yud in there, but the Torah doesn't put in the yud. Orav chaser vav, the makkah of orav, right? Orav is missing the vav. It should have a vav in there. Orov with a vav, right? Ayin reis vav veis. It should have a vav in there. V'choshech chaser vav, and choshech, the makkah of choshech, always has a vav in there, right? Choshech, right? It has a vav in there. All right. So here it doesn't have. It's not written there. And that's what he meant. From the 3, you are missing 10. Perish. From the 3rd makkah, you're missing the yud. That means from 3, the 3rd, you're missing 10. Got it? Zach, you got this?
From 3, you're missing 10. From
the 3rd makkah,
you're missing the yud.
You're missing 10. So now that's from 3, you're missing 10. Okay? The choser min is shisha. And you're missing from the 4th makkah 6. What's the 4th makkah? All right, missing the vav. Wow. Perish. Mimaka Reviya Shi'arav Chasavav. Chasa Minatisha Shisha Perish Minatisha Shehi Makis Choshech Chaser Gam Kain Vav. You're missing the vav. So now we answer 2 questions. What does he meant by the 3,280? What does he mean? And we got 2 understandings of that now. We got the Egref. Egref is 3,280. The Makkos themselves are 3,280 if you write them out this way. And now we understand what it meant. From the 3rd, he's missing 10. From the 4th, he's missing 6. From the 9th, he's missing 6. We understand. From Kinim, he's missing the Yud. From Orav, the 4th, he's missing the Vav. From Orav, from the 9th one, Choshech, he's missing the Vav. And there you have, now you understand that. Okay, so far so good? Okay. Umasha kosa batoira rotza loima shekein ksuvim batoira choser kaniska leel. This is the way you'll find it in the Torah. Kakosa batoira parshas va'era kinim chosevav. If you look up in parshas va'era and you look up in the Torah, you can take out your chumash later. You'll take it out. You'll take a look. You'll see that the makkos are written in parshas va'era this way. Vayra kinim chasevav, orev chasevav, chayshech chasevav, veloy k'meishe kasa basidurim shemesader bal hagoda kula mileim. So don't look it up in your Haggadah. In your Haggadah, they may have wrote it out full. It won't work. No, go back to the source. Go back to the Torah. Look it up in the Torah and see how the Torah wrote it, and then it'll work. Because it's amazing. Rav Shimshon was saying he understood already back then. He understood already back then. The guy's going to, this doesn't make sense. Right. There's nothing. Oh, but no, I'm telling you, go look in the Chumash, and then you'll see it work. Okay. And then the way that is, then the cheshbon works out exactly like Pachos v'Layosim Mishloishes Alofim Masayim Ushmoin the Malachei Chavola Hama'an Shenes Rishayim. The 3,280 angels that are punishing. These are punishing angels that are punishing the Shem Haim, Nishu, Esamitzriyim, and they also punish the Egyptians. The Hiku has Pare, and they gave Pare his patch that he got. Val Hamitzriyim, B'Mitzrayim, the Elu, Shleisha, Rikiyim, Shaltuma, and the 3 firmaments of Tumah. We're going to explain that now. That is surrounded by the 3 firmaments of impurity. Ekwed nikra shin reish ayin. One is called shin reish ayin. We said, right? Again, the Arizal's maimer. It's called shin reish ayin. Nikra tof mem vav chaf sofit. right? And then the next one is called by that name. Ve'echad nikra beis yud shin hey aleph. Gam bazeh yesh lanu soid gadol v'nifla noira shetiken emagid b'ma shekosov elu eser makoi shehevi. We're going to read these words tonight, in Mitzvah Hashem. Elu eser makoi shehevi. Elu eser makoi shehevi. These are the 10 makos that Hashem brought. Shehevi. Eser, Haim, Oisyois, Shin, Reish, Ayin. Eser is the same letters as Shin, Reish, Ayin. How do you like that? Makos. Okay, Makos is Oisyois. The word Makos is Oisyois, Tuf, Mem, Vav, Chaf, Sofit. Here you go. The Shehevi. And then the word Shehevi is the letters of Beis, Yud, Shin, Hey, Aleph. So now when you read these words, look at it, you can read the words in the Haggadah. See how each word is so critical. Each word is so beautiful. Who would have known Elu Eser Makoi Shehevi? You can read it. Everyone says the word. Whoa! You realize in the word Eser you have one of the firmaments of impurity. Makos, another firmament, and Shehevi is a third one? Fascinating. No, just to show you appreciation for every word, every letter, everything is so perfect. Everything fits like a perfect glove. It's amazing when you understand Torah. You can see how methodical, how perfect, how exact everything is in the Torah. Nirmaz bam elu harakiyim shel tuma shebahem shleishes halafum masayim u'shmoinim malachei chavala shehilku v'hiku as hamitzriyim b'minyan makay shehevi b'minyan yud makayis elu v'hu pele godol. This is a wonder. This is an awesome thing that we just learned here. So now, again, let's go back one more time. Okay, we said there were 3,280. How did we get 3,280? We said the word Egrav. Egrav is 3,280. Also, the Makos. We said the 10 Makos. If you write the Makos in the way it's written in Parshas Va'era, and the third Makah, you take out the Yud from Kinim, and then you take out from the fourth Makkah, you take out from Orev, you take out the Vav, like it's written in Parshas Va'era, and you take out from Choshech, the ninth Makkah, you take out 6, so then you'll get 3,280, right? So far, so good, right? But again, that's the way it's written in Parshas Va'era. Okay, after we specify that again. Make sure if you want to look this up, you want to check it, look it up in the Chumash, not in your Siddur, not in your Haggadah. Okay, you have to look it up. Okay, now we said that there were three firmaments of impurity. So what does that mean? Oh, so when we say in the Haggadah tonight, Elu Eser Makay Shehevi, these are the 10 Makis they brought. Oh, Elu is one of the firmaments of impurity. Makos is another one. Eser, Makos, and Shehevi are the 3 different firmaments in the 3 different words. Pretty good, right? Okay. Umasha kosav alei masar nikra dalid lamed pei kuf tes kavanasa hi shem ze shoshoy hayotzim emilis hamitzriyim. Wow, hamitzriyim. Look at this. Ba'oises hakoidnim la'ois hamitzriyim dalid. Okay, there's a concept when you're figuring out things. There are different ways to do things, right? You can do a regular gematria. Sometimes you can do atbash. Sometimes you can also do the letter before. You do letters before the word itself. So you take the letter before and then you make the new word from that. Okay. So if you take the word Amitzriyim, Dalid is Kaidim Lahei. Okay, we know that, right? Dalid Hey, right? We got that. Lamed is Kaidim Lamem. Right, we know that, right? Lamed, Mem, right? We all okay. Pei is kaidem l'tzadik, right? Pei tzaddik, right? Kuf is kaidem l'reish, right? And when you're doing your aleph base, right? You do the aleph base, kuf kuf reish. Tes kaidem l'yud, and we know, of course, tes is before yud. Ba'mem ha'achroina shel mitzrayim hi mem hariboy. The word, the last mem in the Mitzrayim is the word to make it plural. So we're not going to count it. It's not from the shirish, you know, right? The shirish is Mitzrayim, right? But Mitzrayim right? That we're not going to add the plural, okay?
It's like mitzra'i.
Yeah, okay. ורמז לזה המגיד באומרי 10 מקרי שהביא הקדוש ברוך הוא על המצרים כלומר האויסיוס שהם קודמים על אויסיוס המצרים והובן כך קיבלתי והשם הטוב יכפר. So again, in these words over here, אלו מקריס שהביא הקדוש ברוך הוא על המצרים, you have over there, you have the three firmaments of impurity, and then you have the other malach that's on top of them. We said the menayel on top of them is in the word Mitzrayim. Take out the mem. And how do you get it from there? By using by putting the letters that come before the words Mitzrayim, right? Like we just did. V'ma shekosav shal kula masara nikra tov kuf aleph bereishis kavanosai ki rosh hetev shel eser makris detzach adash ba'achav gematria tov kuf aleph. So we're going to say by the Seder today, you're going to say detzach, and we have a simon, v'nosam lahem simonim. Right, Simonim. What's the Simonim? The Tzach Hadash B'Achav. Right? Isn't that nice, right? So we think it's just cute that we made a simon. Whoa, no. There's secrets behind that also. Yes, you can use it to help you remember, but you can use it also to remember this secret. It's amazing. Right? The minyan hasar mamish kavanase b'tevis bereishis. What's the lema? Haroshei tevis shel hamakas. The roshei tevis are the makas themselves. So if you take the roshei tevis, dam sevadeya kinim, dam sevadeya kinim, orev dever shchin, bored arba choshech hamakas b'chayres, it comes to a total of 501. It comes to a total of 501, which is tuf kuf aleph. And again, when you add up the makas themselves, the way they're written in the Torah, they come to 3,280. When you make a simon for them, and you make a roshei tevis of them, right? Right, I guess you could say, right? You make a roshei tevis of them, so then it comes to 501, and this is the malach called Taf Kuf Aleph 501. So far, so good. This is pretty amazing, right? What do you think? Yeah. Okay. Minyan asar mamish kavanaz b'tevis reisha rosh leimer roshei tevis the makris. Okay. Gamuhu minyan asher. So also the minyan of asher. Okay, we have over there the minyan of asher. Also, this is a fascinating thing. Asher is also is 501, right? Asher is also 501. Asher Hevi. Asher Hevi, right? Asher Hevi, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought Asher Hevi, that he brought. The word Asher itself has in there also 501. So you have in the Tzach Hadash B'Achav, in the Rosh Tevis 501. Also in the word Asher, you have also 501. Shu Said HaKosav Asher Hisalalti B'Mitzrayim. Hashem says Asher Hisalalti B'Mitzrayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu came down to Mitzrayim. Hashem was hovering over Mitzrayim. He's halalti b'Mitzrayim. V'kiyoytze b'zeh bahar be'psukim moirim lahasoid asher. So anytime you see in the pasuk you're reading something and you see the word asher, it's a siman to this. Every word means something. They're codes. They're all words of codes. Every word in the Torah is something special, and there are different codes. Like here, you say the word Asher. Oh, Asher. Wait, say that's 501. 501's connected to the Makkos, connected to Mitzrayim, connected to Yetzias Mitzrayim. Wow. B'minyan Rosh Tevis shel Eser Makkos and Eskarim Lael v'yesh lanu bazer soides nefloim haber remazim k'void elikim hasta adover. Okay, so far we uncovered a good part of the mimer, first part. Now we're going to discuss what it meant with the different makkos and the 10 makkos and 50 on the yam and so on and so forth. We're going to discuss that part now as we proceed. Here we go.
The 501 is the
Asher.
The Arizal said in the beginning is like the
highest level. All of them.
Arizals,
He's the menayel.
He's the main manager.
There we go.
CEO, not the CEO. whatever.
He's the boss. He's the boss.
The
He's the
guy.
boss of them. Okay, whatever.
Right.
He's the general.
Right.
We'll call him the general, okay? All right. Now, Umashe Custom Mitzad Hashem Shin Pei Vav. And this that it says, B'Shat, there's another shame, he says. Shin Pei Vav. What's Shin Pei Vav? But Shin Pei Vav, he was punished in the Mitzrayim with 10 makos in Mitzrayim and 50 on the Yam. Shin Pei Vav. Omar. Hika Oisam Mitzrayim Esem makos v'layam chamishim. Kavanasa Linyan Soid Nifla Naira Pelukta Shal Rabbi Yossi Aglili Rabbi Eliezer Rabbi Akiva. We're going to read that in the Haggadah. Right? You have these three, what do you call these three Tanoim, Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva, right? Three Tanoim, and these three, and they're arguing. They have a machlokes. Okay. But now we're going to learn something amazing. See, something that we don't understand. We see certain things, like we're learning about the Koyach HaMedameh, right? We see certain things and we come up with our imagination of our opinions, right? Many times we come up with an opinion based on something we saw, based on something someone told us, and we imagine our opinion based on that, right? We're going to learn over here, when you learn the Gemara, and you're learning a Mishnah, and you see this a machlokes, no. Each man da'omar holds what they hold because that's the essence of who they actually are. And that's what it means, Elu ve'elu divrei elikim chayim. How do we understand it? Two man da'omar say the exact opposite. But Elu ve'elu divrei elikim, they're both saying the right, they're saying the word of the living God. How? Because that's the essence of their neshama. Now we're going to see how that works out now. Here we go. It gives us appreciation of our neshamas. It gives us appreciation for the Torah. It gives us appreciation for what Hashem did to take us out of Mitzrayim. It's unbelievable. Okay, we said that. That is the plukta of Rabbi Yossi Aglili, Rabbi Eliezer, Rabbi Akiva. Okay, so now if you take a look at Rabbi Yossi Haglili, okay? Rabbi Yossi Haglili, and you add up the numbers of Rabbi Yossi Haglili, it comes to 386, right? He wrote it out for you over there, right? You see that? Yeah, 386. So, what?
On page 6.
There we go. So that's Shin Pei Vav. Here you go. There's your Shin Pei Vav. Rabbi Yossi Aglili, he says that the Mitzrayim were punished in Mitzrayim with 10 makos, and he says that on the Yam they were punished with 50 makos. They had 50 plagues at the splitting of the sea. Oh, and that's his opinion. And guess what? The Malach is called Shin Pei Vav. Oh, because that's the gematria of Rabbi Yossi Aglili. So he's connected to that Malach. So you can't convince Rabbi Yossi Aglili something else. That's who he is. He can't change. So you could talk to somebody and try to change their opinion. But this is who Rabbi Yossi Aglili is. You can't. This is who he is. Hamuska ba'agoda Rabbi Yossi Aglili oimer minayin, Rabbi Eliezer oimer minayin, Rabbi Akiva oimer minayin, shezeh soid Rabbi Yossi Aglili, gematria Shin Pei Vav, mamish, mechuvan, v'hainu, Rabbi Yossi Aglili oimer perish Hashem, Shin Pei Vav, Omar, v'hika oisam, and through that name, that's how they were smitten. That's how they were hit. Now, again, you can understand it in different ways. There's many ways for us to understand it. For example, each makkah we had in Mitzrayim, there were so many other makkahs part of the makkah itself. So many things that were byproducts of the makkah itself. So perhaps Rabbi Yossi Aglili is referring to just the makkah itself and nothing else, not any tolda from the makkah, just the makkah itself. Whereas the other mandam, right, as we're going to see, they say, no, the other parts of the things that they suffered were also part of the makos. And that's what they're arguing. So they're really saying the same thing, but they're not. Rabbi Yossi Aglili is going to say, of course they had all the other things also. But the main thing I focus on, And Rabbi Akiva is going to say, no, the main I focus on this. Rabbi Eliezer says, I focus on that. So that it's not different. It's just what are you focusing on? And based on who they are is how they focus on their view. Do you follow? You understand what I'm saying? Okay. No, but it's something very important to learn when you're learning Gemara and you're learning anything and you see there's an opinion. Sometimes you think to yourself, well, why does he think this way? Whoa. Do I understand the Olam and the Neshamas? Do I understand who he's, what his Neshamas are? I can't understand it. I just know Elu Elu Divrei Elikim Chayim. That's what I have to know. Whatever I'm learning, each man damar is saying the true word of the living God of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, each man damar, and I don't have to understand it. Because we're learning over here how you can understand, how you see how differences of opinions are really the essence of the Tana, of the Amayra. You understand? It's the essence of who they are. So let's go to the next one. Here we go. David ben Yishai. Hey, wait a second. Then we talked about David ben Yishai. What did he have to do with this? Right? What did David ben Yishai do? Of course, we love David. We want David ben Yishai. We want Moshiach to come today. Still, we have time. Moshiach can come. We can still bring the Korban Pesach. It's before Chatzai. It's okay. We'll take him. No problem. Anytime. Perish David ben Yishai. Kain Gematria Shin Pei Vav. David ben Yishai is Shin Pei Vav 386. How do you like that? Not only is Rabbi Yossi Aglili 386, but David ben Yishai is also 386. You see that? Because of Besoide Rosa, Rabbi Yossi Aglili Haya Nitzai Shel David ben Yishai. How do you like that? Rabbi Yossi Aglili was a reincarnation in the tzitzit. He had a part of David ben Yishai's neshama, and that's why he had to hold this way, and that's why the Arizal wrote David ben Yishai by this one over here. Mind blowing, right? This is mamash. Wow, I thought this is wow, right? Okay. Uvaisai Hashem Daika Yavai ben Yishai, and with this shame, Emetz Hashem, with this shame Shin Pei Vav, Mashiach is going to come. You hear this? You see what he wrote here? We need this shame. Shin Pei Vav, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, 386. We need 386 to bring Mashiach. How do you like that? Hagam sheyesh lanu bazeh soides neflois neirois omnam hakavona nisko le'el. Rabbi Yossi Aglili gematria Shin Pei Vav Omar v'hika, and that's how that. Okay, so now we understand how great Rabbi Yossi Aglili is. We understand why he says 10 and 50. We understand that his name is 386. We understand David ben Yishai, which he's in the tzitzit of, is also 386. That we got so far. Any questions? Or we got this? We're convinced? We're convinced. Okay, good. Now let's go further. Uma shekosav mitzad tov kuf lamid loku b'mitzrayim arboim makos. With the shame tov kuf lamid, the Mitzrayim were punished in Egypt with 40 plagues. Well, what was it? 10? Or was it 40? Well, he says 40. He says 40. V'alayam loku masayim, 200 on the Yamsuf. Rabbi Yossi Aglili said 50 and 10. He says 40 and 200. Okay? Remez l'soid kavanasi b'soid Rabbi Eliezer gematria Tov Kuf Lamed. Wow, Rabbi Eliezer's name is Tov Kuf Lamed. So his svara that he holds 40 and 200, you can't change it. His name is Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbi Eliezer is 530. 530 exactly. Vayna Eliezer daikeshu gematria shem Tov Kuf Lamed Omar v'hika. V'hainu Rabbi Eliezer oimer rotza loimer shu savar shashem Tov Kuf Lamed gorim l'mitzrayim amakos. And therefore, again, here you see it. Rabbi Yossi Aglili says 10 and 50. His name is 386, and therefore the shame of the malach was Shin Pei Vav 386. You can't change it. Rabbi Eliezer says, no, it's 40 and 200. And it's based on the shame of Tov Kuf Lamed, and that's the same gematria as Rabbi Eliezer. You can't change it. That's who he is. That's his name. That's who he is. That's his opinion. He stands with it. Okay, so far good? Okay. Let's learn the third one. Umasha Custom Mitzad Hashem Shin Tzaddik Hey Loko Mitzrayim. And what did it? There was another name, Shin Tzaddik Hey, which comes to 395. Shin is 300. Tzaddik is 90, and Hey is 395. Right? Rabbi Akiva. Wow. Rabbi Akiva is the one that says, B'gematria Shin Tzaddik Hey, the Hainu Rabbi Akiva, Daika, B'gematria Shin Tzaddik Hey, 395, Amma Shashem Shin Tzaddik Hey, Amma V'hika, V'echol Echad V'echad Elu HaChachamim, Amma Lefi Achizosoi. Each one of the mandam, and they say according to what they're attached to, who they really are. V'harei murazim elu shleisha shemais. These three names: Shin Pei Vav, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, Tav Kuf Lamed, Rabbi Eliezer, and Shin Tzaddik Rabbi Akiva. Be'elu Shemais Tanoim, Rabbi Yossi Aglili, B'gematria Shin Pei Vav, Rabbi Eliezer B'gematria Tav Kuf Lamed, Rabbi Akiva B'gematria Shin Tzaddik. V'zeu Said Nifla Noira Rozin, the Rozin Tesima Sisra, this Sisira. These were so locked, sealed. Nobody understood these things. But look, when you define it, look how beautiful it is. Right? When you understand what now every word the Arizal said is so beautiful. But sometimes we don't understand them. Right? But anytime you see something from the Arizal, we get so many times to learn things from the Arizal and Likutei Halachos. We're so blessed that we have that opportunity to learn them things. And Rav Nosson explains us different words and different ways and understandings from the Arizal. It's amazing. It's mamash amazing. You see how deep and how beautiful the words are. Hainu k'meishe kasavta l'malas k'vay terasa v'urachim. Masha kosa b'masha kodesh baruch hu makeh boi merak ba'agolas. And this that he wrote, the Arizal wrote, and he ended the Maimer. Now we're finishing his Maimer, and we're going to finish this, describing it and explaining it. Kodesh baruch hu makeh boi merak ba'agolas. The fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the Makkah, the fact that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brought the plague on the Egyptians, brought refuah, healing, brought salvation to the Jewish people. Hainu k'meishe kasafti l'chvei terasa v'hinei ba'oisen hasara makos. Nirmaz tam yeridas Yisrael in Mitzrayim. The idea of why we went down to Mitzrayim, Shemaramzim ba'oisa is the tzach hadash b'achav. Oh, we thought we were finished with the tzach hadash b'achav. Right, we thought we were finished with that. We thought we were finished with the tzach hadash b'achav because we thought it was 5:01. But now we're going to see something else. Here we go. We're going to do another way. Said yiridasam l'mitzrayim k'meishe kasafti l'chvei teirasai, as I write for you with the honor of your Torah, right? The Torah ubay ripei oisanu hakadosh baruch hu v'hika bahem maka rabba etzba elikim hu. Right, the Mitzrayim said. Right, the Mitzrayim said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when it came to the Makkah of Kinim, right, when it came to the Makkah, they were so small. The lights, they were so small that they could not do that Makkah. When it came to Dam, so the Mitzrayim would buy water from the Jews and then turn that water into blood. I mean, this is the craziest thing possible. They had no water. They had to buy water to show that they can turn the water into blood also. Okay. We could do that. We could do that trick. Then it came to the frogs. They were able to do the makkah of the frogs. Oh, they could do that. That's no problem. But the kingdom is smaller than a gargoyle. It's such a small thing that the tumah doesn't. It can't. Their kaiches of tumah have no shlita on such a small thing, so they couldn't do it. So what do they say? Etzpe likimhi. Etzpe likimu. It's the finger of God. The finger of God. Right? We learned that. Well, maybe we'll talk over what does it mean, why they said the finger. And then when it came to the Yamsuf, it said that's a Yad HaGedolah. Remember we learned about that? Remember? It was constantly by the Makkah's Etzba Elikimu, but when it came to the Kriyas Yamsuf, it was Yad HaGedolah She'asa Elikim B'Mitzrayim. It was the Yad HaGedolah. Yad. It wasn't Etzba. Maybe we'll talk. Okay. Harei min ha-Makkah atzma boya refuah li Yisrael. From the Makkah itself came the salvation for Klal Yisrael. Sheboisen Amakis Nimas are refuah, and each market you find the refuah. Shegola Makadosh Baruch Hu Bahem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out through them. Umashe Kosa Pashu, what does it mean that they sinned? Willfully sinned. Ratzal Leima Be'elu Amakis Nimas Hachet Shel Avaseinu Shegarm Yeridus Mitzrayim. There's many different opinions. Was it the Lashon Hara that Yosef spoke to the father? Was it the sin of the sinas chinam that the brothers had against Yosef? Whatever. There's many opinions. But whatever we did wrong caused us to have to go down to Mitzrayim. Others say it was when it came to the bris bein Avsarim by Avram Avinu, and Avram Avinu said b'ma'eda. How do I know? That caused it. Either way, whatever the reason was, whatever the sin was, there's many different opinions. But either way, we went down to Mitzrayim because of a sin. And again, it's so amazing. The same way we said that these malachim are up to 3,280 malachim up on high. And they're punishing the neshamas of those people that passed away, that did their sin, and they're purifying them, correct? These same angels Hashem brought down here in this world. You hear this? The same angels came down here in order to bring us the refuah, to heal us and to purify us. But He did it through punishing the Mitzrayim as how we didn't have to get punished. They got punished and we got healed. Is that amazing? Think about that. They got punished, and via their punishment, we got healed. See how much Hashem loves us?
Like medicine works the same way. It heals one thing and then it gives the makkah to the other thing.
The side effect. The side effect. No, but here we're saying this is amazing. The Malachim came, punished the Egyptians, and through their punishment, we got healed. That's pretty amazing. Umasha Kosav Kodesh Baruch Hu Golai Sanu B'Shemas Elalu Dalet Ayin Beis Shin Tzadik Aleph Chof Shin Ches Beis Hakavana Dalet Ayin Beis Shem Oises Harishoyin Shel Ditzach Adash Bachav. Take a look. If you take the word Ditzach, the Dalet, then you take the word of Adash, the Ayin, and then you take the first letter of Beis. Now here you have that shame, Dalet Ayin Beis. How do you like that? Amazing. V'achakach Shin Tzadik Dalet Aleph, the second of Ditzach, the second letter of Adash, the second letter of Ba'achav, then you have Dalet Tzadik Aleph. Amazing. V'heim Oisei Shniyos Shel Ditzach Adash Ba'achav. And these are the second letters of Ditzach Adash Ba'achav. These are the second letters of the Tzach Hadash B'Achakach Chof Shin Ches Beis, right? Is the same Shin Chof Ches Beis? Heim Oisei Shashlish Shel the Tzach Hadash B'Achav. How do you like that? So through the Makkah itself, Shegol HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisanu B'Hem, Hashem brought us out. He held us and brought us out. We had our redemption through their getting their Makkos. And in there you see the Makkos itself. You see how that was brought a refuah. That brought a healing to us, a spiritual healing. That gave us the ability when it came to Shabbos HaGadol. That when it came to Shabbos HaGadol, we were able to stand up and take that animal and stand up to the Mitzrayim. And have the Mesiras Nefesh to stand up and say, yes, we are going to slaughter your God. That was the beginning of our freedom, right there. And how did we get that freedom? Through the Makkos. So through the Makkos brought us our healing. We became the people we had to become through Hashem bringing them out. Where did they get punished from? From the angels up on high. Hashem brought His whole arsenal of all His angels, and He brought them down here to punish the Egyptians. I don't know, Guy. Do you think this is pretty amazing? And Rav Shimshon Me'Ostropolia, he promised us that anyone that studies this on Erev Pesach, anything you do, you'll be successful in the year, and you won't have any untimely death, won't have any accidents. Is that amazing? The tzaddik promised us this. It's pretty good, right? Especially in the times that we're living today, right? Yeah. It's a nice thing to have a haftacha from the tzaddik, okay? V'yehei rava m'lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it should be pleasing and sweet in front of Hashem, she'yareinu bias mashiachenu, im ha'malachim ha'shaychim legeula, ha'achreinu b'meira v'yameinu. The same way Hashem sent the malachim that brought the plagues on Mitzrayim, Hashem has other malachim that'll send for us, that'll be the ones that bring us our refuah, that'll bring us our geula that we're waiting for. V'yukam banu mikra shekasa v'chimei tzeitzcha me'eretz Mitzrayim aren the flois omei netzach selavon. The same way Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, He saw the wonders. We have no idea the wonders we're going to see. We have no idea the wonders we're going to see. I mean, if you want to just get a little preview that we have now, when those ballistic missiles come and we can shoot them down, and you can see these, this thing's coming from space, and we go up, things that we can't understand these things.
It's flying in 2 kilometers per second.
I understand you, Sasha. These are niflois that we can't. Niflois are buried that we can't understand.
When it's coming down, like I looked it up.
It's even faster when it's coming down, probably because of gravity.
It's about 2 kilometers per second.
2 kilometers per second.
Yeah.
So they have to figure out exactly that and know that know with this, and then we can do it.
Yeah, a bullet when it comes out of a 9mm pistol, it comes out about 1,000 meters per second, 1 kilometer per second. When it comes out of a pistol.
1 kilometer a second.
Yeah. The missile that
2 kilometers a second. Wow. Okay. So again, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu should show us these. So listen, this is our minhag. We did this every year, and Baruch Hashem, we got it to. We're going to learn the halacha now in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this? Does everyone understand now how beautiful the Torah is and how every word is so critical? Every single word. That's why when the Balkor is reading, if he misses a letter, he says it. Whoa, stop it! He's got to say it right. You don't know what it changes the whole world. It changes everything. It's amazing. So anyway, that's something that we learn. Let's learn halacha in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch because that's what we do every day. Baruch Hashem. We're learning in Kitzur Shulchan Aruch Simin Lamed Vov, the laws of melicha of salty meat. Okay, so again, we're learning this now. Erev Pesach, and Mitzvah Hashem will have to know what to do. We have to slaughter the meat. They slaughter the little lamb, right? And then you have to skin it, and then you have to take the meat through the butchering, and then you have to soak the meat for at least a half an hour, right? And then if you cut the meat. If you cut it after you soaked it, you have to soak it again for another half an hour. And then we said if it's too cold, so you have to make sure you cool it down. You have to warm up the meat a little bit because you don't want the blood to be stuck inside. You want to get the blood out. We're not allowed to eat the blood, so we have to make sure. Right? All the different things that we're learning, okay? Now today we're up to 7. Okay, after you washed off the meat, so you have to dry it off a little bit. You have to take off some of the water. You don't want the meat to be soaking wet. Okay, why? You want the meat to be a little moist. You want it to be moist, but not wet. Why? Because if you put the salt on it and it's wet, the salt will melt right away, and then it won't be able to absorb the blood. So you want to keep the meat moist, so therefore the salt will stick to the meat, and it won't fall off, because if it's moist, the salt will stick to it. And then as the salt sits on the meat, it can absorb, the salt is as porous, so if there's any blood, any moisture, it absorbs the moisture. So if there's any extra water and any extra blood, it pulls it out, and that's the point of salting. Don't dry it completely, because you don't want the salt to fall off. If you dry the meat totally, the meat's dry, the salt won't stick. Then you won't accomplish the whole point. You want the salt to be able to stick onto the meat and let it sit on the meat in order for it to absorb the blood. Do you understand that? David, you're wondering about something? You have a question? No? Does anyone have any questions about this? Okay, so just the one idea for the Seder tonight. The Seder is the holiest. Some say it's the holiest night of the year. There are those that say because it's the Leil of Emunah. This is the time that we can actually instill Emunah into our families. This is the night. This is the night HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us a special siyata d'shmaya that we can do this, a special aura that we can do this. So, of course, if it's such a special night, the Baldover, he's going to try to mess up the situation, right? So how does he mess it up normally? The wine spills. Oh, why did you do that? Oh, and did this happen, or that happened, or they didn't do this right? Whatever it is, say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I give over everything to you. We'll run the Seder the way you want it to run. I'm just going to be a spectator. The same way you're a spectator at an event, right? You're a spectator at an event. You don't get upset if things happen, right? Whatever happens, happens. You saw it. But if you're running it, then you get upset. We should always realize in our lives that we're not really running anything. It's really Hashem that runs everything for us. We're really spectators. And it's like we learned, it's really what we have, our bechira is really what we think and how we think and all of that. So all the things that happen, they're all tests that Hashem is just testing us. So whatever you do, do not get upset. Do not get upset. Chas v'sholom. No, don't get upset at all. Whatever it is, smile. Mamish, it should be a very freiliche time, very happy time with the family. Let the kids do what the kids want to do. Keep the kids interested. Let them talk to the kids. And another thing is that we have to talk to the kids. We got it to levincha. You have to tell to the kids. The way the kids go to school today, they come back with all of their notebooks, right? And they're telling over, oh, that's not the way it is. It's not that the child tells over the Torah to the father. It's for God to Levincha, you have to tell your son. So again, you can use what they're saying, use what the kid's saying. In other words, let the kid talk. See what he's saying, and then speak based on what the kid was talking, so then the kid will be interested because now you're answering what he has to say and you bring it into a conversation rather than you just tell him, you listen, and then the kids won't listen. But if you let the kid talk and then you bring your ideas into the talking, whatever your grandchild said, so then you can make a conversation with that, and Mitzvah Hashem, the words will come in, because when you bring out words from the heart, they go into the heart, and that's the whole point. I wish everyone, we should have a Chag Kosher v'Sameach. Thank you for coming, and we should all be safe and sound, all Yidden, all over the world, wherever they are.